Name, image, and likeness. This is a big deal. We're starting year 2. And I remember when they first came out with name, image, and likeness. And I thought, okay, you're going to get some quarterbacks, maybe some wide receivers, edge rushers. They're going to be able to make some money. This isn't where, hey, we're going to give this guy $25,000 or this guy gets to go to this restaurant whenever he wants to. Everything that you sign under name, image, and likeness has to run through compliance with these universities. It's a contract. And I don't know if we're going to get to a name, image, and likeness salary cap, but when this first started, I had people saying to me, you're overreacting to what these players are going to get. And I go, you don't get it. Like, all I have to do is say that's an NIL deal. That's it. Now, we'll have a contract. But if I want to pay, look at the number of offensive linemen drafted in the first round. So you can't go, oh, this is just about quarterbacks. It is about quarterbacks. It's about every player who can help you. If you have a billionaire or billionaires, plural, and they decided that they want to make Texas relevant, it's going to take a lot of money for them, but they can go out and get whoever they want. You just buy an entire offensive line, and you can do it legally. Here's a couple of notes here, and this is Sports Illustrated. A bagman tells Sports Illustrated he witnessed an SEC bidding war for a prospect who was an end 4-year, $600,000 deal deemed to be NIL. One quarterback in the transfer portal said no less than $10,000 a month. This year, Power 5 collectives will raise $500 million in player salary pool marketed as NIL. Get your head out of the sand, folks. Boosters bankrolling teams. Coaches are determining NIL income. Here's the baseline for a top recruit. $100,000 per year. That's where you start. I just got information from a source who said the following. All right. There is a quarterback in the transfer portal treating this like pure free agency. He is asking for $2.5 million to start. Not even necessarily a big name. There's a wide receiver who is asking for $2.5 million plus. Jordan Addison, wide receiver at Pitt. So don't sit here and go, well, it's just quarterbacks. It's everybody who can help you win. And now we separate the haves and the have-nots. And we get closer to that super league with college football. And there will be the attempt to have a ceiling on NIL, a salary cap. These are all things that somebody who went to the University of Dayton and barely graduated figured out when they first started. Yes, Todd.
And at least in football, we already have the same handful of teams before this all happened over the past several years, the same 6, 7, 8 teams. Now it's going to get narrowed down even worse than it already has been.
Thank you, Todd. Yes, Paul.
If you're Jordan Addison, the wide receiver from Pittsburgh, I would do the signing day move. I would do 3 hats and a table, and when you pick up the hat, it's the one with the most cash underneath it. Is the school he's going to. You pop it on his head.
Sure. Like a safety deposit box. Open up the key.
Could you
How much is in here? Oh, there's only $2.4 million. Yes, Heaton.
So far, I haven't heard anything that I'm unhappy about.
Yeah?
So far, I haven't heard a single thing that I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, that's messed up. Every single thing he just said, I'm like, great, take it. I hope you get more.
Yeah, Marv.
And I think that also a lot of those like mid-tier or mid-round guys that are trying to leave after their junior years, they'll just stay. You know, maybe they're a big star in college, but maybe their skills won't translate to the next level like they think. And then they'll say, hey, I'm making $800,000 here. Let me just stay here another year.
And I remember people would say, well, how many jerseys do you think they're going to sell? I'm like, you're lost. You're in the ice ages if you think that that's what's going on here. Yeah, Paul.
Tebow would still be at Florida at the
Oh,
NIL
yeah.
when he were around. He would have taken a pay cut to go to the pros. I'm not even joking.
No, you're right.
He would have made $3 million a year to stay at Florida until he's 30 years old, and he would have done that wind up down there, jump passes.
But he would have donated all that money too to charity.
That would have been the first time, actually, that the whole, what if they gave him a piece of ownership? Somehow he would have gotten a piece of the university to stay there.
Yeah, Mar.
Those offensive linemen down south are going to kill at Waffle House, Bojangles, Shoney's, all that. Come on, get out of here.
Why wouldn't you spend money on your offensive line? Why wouldn't you give them $200,000? Like, what is that kind? Let's say you're giving out $15 million a year to your university. If you're a booster, $15 million, who cares? That's, pocket change. Like, bragging rights is what you want. My university. Hey, I'm responsible for that guy. Yes,
I just can't believe, this is really naive of me, I just can't believe that there's people who have money, like that much money set aside. Like, what's your booster budget this year? For me, like Johnny car dealership,
Yes.
like, oh yeah, I set aside $2 million every year to illegally pay kids to come to my school.
That's the way it used to be.
I just can't believe people have that much money.
Yeah.
They can set that aside.
Yes. A bagman tells Sports Illustrated he witnessed an SEC bidding war for a prospect in a 4-year, $600,000 deal deemed to be NIL. Yeah, Paul.
I go back to the first time I ever went to an SEC tailgate. I think it was like an Auburn, Alabama game. I was 17. I was talking to this guy. He looked like a well-off gentleman. He had one of those huge tour bus SUVs, right? Huge. And I go, oh, yeah, that's cool. I go, you take that camping too? He goes, camping? I bought this $1 million RV for 6 home games. He goes, that's it. He goes, we go to 6 home games with it, and that's it. I go, you don't go camping, you don't take it? He goes, no. He goes, we all do this. You got to have the best RV in the lot.
Well, Darius Rucker at South Carolina games, he's got a
caboose.
Yes. And so it's all tricked out.
There's a line of cabooses, like old train cabooses by South Carolina, and they look like man caves inside. You've been there.
Well, it's and that's for how many games each year? 6 games. But he's got a train car that's all tricked out. Yeah, Marv.
Are we going to an SEC game or a game down south this year, and we could just talk to Bagman and just have him on the show? NIL show, all like a Meat Friday. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but a bagman is different. He's just a businessman now. Like, a bagman is not, the guy who is in the shadows there. Now you can be front and center. You can walk in with a briefcase. I mean, you don't have to hide anything. That's why it's be really hard to bring somebody up on illegal recruiting. I mean, go back to what was happening with Adidas and Nike at Kansas, and they had wiretaps there. Well, that seems like ancient time. We were talking about name, image, and likeness. Here is Deion Sanders, head coach at Jackson State, on that topic.
I want you to focus on the NFL, not the NIL. You ball out and you prepared yourself for the NFL. If you get comfortable with, you already got a meal and you got that coming, I mean, come on. How hungry are you going to be to go out there and work and go get it?
Okay. I mean, Deion's got millions and he needs these kids. He doesn't have that sugar daddy there, I'm sure, at Jackson State. But this is just going to separate, I still look at it as, are we going to have 50 universities, 40 universities? Are we going to have a super league? And in fairness to these smaller schools, let them have their own championship. Now, we do this for Division I and II and III and NAIA, and maybe that's what we have to do. But this is here. It's staying. And how many schools are able to go, hey, I can get a $3 million quarterback if I want to? I mean, imagine can Tulsa battle with Alabama? No, not financially. Yes, Eden.
So this could sort of start leading to a proper, minor league football system, right? If college sports is basically supposed to, college football is kind of the minor league NFL. You could have those bigger schools that have all this money that's paying all these kids the big sums just break off into their own thing. And that's kind of, you have the football players go there, but the kids who want to go to school and play football can go to these ones too. And that, get your college scholarship, get all that free stuff. Great. Good for you.
Yeah, Paul.
When will the schools start putting in the contract or when they middleman the contracts with NIL that you must stay 3 years at our school to get this. So if I'm the Alabama booster who signs the kid linebacker out of high school, yes, you can get your NIL money as soon as you finish your junior year at Alabama. We'll have $2 million waiting for you. We'll give you some money up front to pay for all that stuff, but how about a true contract where you can't leave?
Well, I would do it. I'd spread it over 3 years. If I'm bringing in a freshman, big-time recruit, I'm going to give you a 3-year deal, and let's say it's for $5 million, $6 million. You're going to get $1 million first year. You're going to get 2.5, and then you're going to get the remaining amount in your third year. If you leave, then this contract is null and void. If you are first-team All-American, first-team All-Conference, you're a Heisman finalist. Like, you can build in incentives, I guess. It just feels like there's no rules. It's the Wild Wild West. And until we don't have a commissioner in college football, well, we have a president of sorts. But until you have that, you're going to have this, and everybody's going to take advantage of it until we get to a salary cap for name, image, and likeness. Yes, Todd?
But even that won't be enough, because if the penalty is only you break the contract and you don't get paid anymore, if some other school comes along and says, all right, you're getting 1, 1.5, 2, or whatever, I'm going to give you 1, 2.5, 4, and then so why? How does that really stop anything from happening? This contract with a player that all of a sudden in the middle of that contract he gets a better deal with another school.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's stopping it, but if I'm giving you money, I'm not going to give you this amount of money. I'll give you more if you stay. Because what's going to happen, what would stop Caleb Williams at USC? Just transferred from Oklahoma. He went 1 year and then all of a sudden went into the portal. Let's say he had an unbelievable year. He's a Heisman finalist. And all of a sudden he goes, you know what? I'm not sure I'm going to stay here. Let me just kind of see what I could get in free agency. There are no rules. What if Georgia says, what's it going to take? We'll pay it 1 year. That quarterback? Could happen.